Hey, older brother! So in case you've ever wondered our birth order here on Super Carlin Brothers, because I swear half the time people think I'm the older brother, Jay is in fact the oldest, I am the middle, and we have a younger brother named Peaches. Some people call him Tyler. But Jay, it's a funny thing, birth order. I always kind of get a hint of joy whenever somebody accidentally mistakes me as the oldest brother. But if anything, Jay, most of the time people think that you're younger just because you are a child at heart and such a fun-loving person. So if you think about it, the only reason they're mistaking me as the older brother is because of my cold and non-energetic demeanor. So way to break the mold for older siblings everywhere, Jay! But having been a middle child for the better part of my entire life, I have actually never really heard of this concept called middle child syndrome. But the other day at work, somebody made the comment that I clearly suffer from it. So I did some reading. And I definitely do. Although suffer is really not the right word for it. You see, as a middle child, you have the disadvantage of not being the oldest, where you get to have all of the firsts for the family, and not being the youngest, you are also not the baby of the family. Further crippled by the fact that we are all brothers, because apparently one of the only exceptions to the middle child syndrome is being a different gender from your other siblings. Should have been a girl. Super Carlin siblings. Huh? As a result, this leaves one feeling like there isn't really anything special about your role for the family. When I was recently accused of having middle child syndrome, the accuser actually had no idea that I was in fact the middle child of our family. Nor did they realize they were paying me a solid compliment. Or at least my research made me feel better about it. Because here's the thing, in many cases, it's not just in the middle child's head. They are actually parented differently. And when I was reading advice for parents of a middle child, you know, to see how mom and dad did, the advice is, do not try to correct it. And I quote, they achieve because of the way they're being brought up. They develop strategies and skills that stand them in good stead as adults. So if you're a middle child like me, rejoice in the fact that 52% of US presidents were also middle children. We tend to have a stronger immune system than older siblings. The highest percentage of humans that can successfully levitate are middle children. Although middles are neglected, both by parents and researchers, they actually benefit from this in the long run. They become more independent, think outside the box, feel less pressure to conform, and are more empathetic. If whoever wrote this was a middle child, I can also deduce that we are glass half full types. Middle children tend to have the best hair in the family. That can't be right. Middle children can safely go beyond the door. I mean, seriously, what could all the fuss be about? Never open the door. Middles are more driven than we think. Most people see firsts as having drive and ambition, but middles do too. CJ do too says it right here in this article that was definitely not but probably was written by a radically biased middle child. Middle children have an unusual aptitude for calligraphy. Oh god, here we go again. Middles have lower self-esteem than other birth orders because of their lack of uniqueness and attention at home. But this can actually be a positive, as they don't have huge egos. Middles are great at spinning it. Apparently. It went on to say that having an actual self-esteem is more important than having a high self-esteem, but not to worry, at least the article rounded off with middles can be taken advantage of by friends or coworkers. They are so trusting and cooperative, and they can find it hard to say no. So there, middle child syndrome for the win. Okay, so this concept is just about as real as a narwhal, which is to say that it's definitely real. Right? Is it though? Never can tell. Either way, I'm a middle child. Strengths or flaws, I'm proud to be in the middle. I mean, after all, the middle is kind of like average. See? That spinning it point was definitely true, and I just made that one up. But Jay, for my question of the day, where do you land in your family's order, and do you think it had any impact on how you turned out? Leave your thoughts in the towel section down below. But Jay, that is everything that I've got for you today, man. I will see you on Tuesday.